Hey guys, welcome back. So this video, we're going to do a year-end review. I want to go through this video of the 8 things I want to do more of in 2018 to remind myself of the goals and the dreams and the wishes I had for myself for 2018 and review whether I did a great job and am deserving of a couple pats on the back, or if there's areas of improvement and what I'd like to bring with me into 2019. So if you haven't watched that video already, you can watch it, but I don't think you really need to watch it because I'm going to read through some of these things because I just read through it and I'm like, dude, Rowena, some of the things you wrote, oh wow, super bang. And if you don't know what bang means, it's Chinese, it's like bang is like great, bang bang. Bang. If you guys are like, oh, that looks different, well, you're right. Let me really quickly show you guys. I went through this in my previous video. That's my old leaning desk that was just so uninspiring. That's the thing I built in last week's video, and I just decided to move a couple of things around. There will be a few more things that I'm gonna change. I just kind of threw on plants and posters onto that so that it's not completely bare and white. But anyway, you guys didn't come here for an updated apartment tour. We'll do that in the future. So the first thing is do more of what makes me uncomfortable. While the act of doing things that make you uncomfortable may not feel the best in the moment, a little bit of discomfort can actually go a long way. A good reminder and reference point that feelings of resistance and discomfort are sure signs that we're learning, growing, expanding, and challenging ourselves to move onward and upward. So a few things that I wanted to do is to meet more like-minded people, collab with other YouTubers, and put myself out there even more and not be afraid to try new things, work with different people inside and outside of the industry. So I feel like overall, I did a pretty good job of getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. I met really awesome people this year, and I feel like because my time was still mostly preoccupied by this channel and by Beauty Within, I didn't meet as many people as I hope I would. And when I say like I met new people, it's like I actually got to know a handful, less than 5 people outside of my immediate circle who are creators and who I actually do know pretty well now. That I'm really happy that I do know them. I'm so happy that YouTube has given me this experience and this opportunity to be able to meet people who are doing things that I'm doing and people who care about the things that I care about. But that being said, I still felt like I hid behind this mask of I'm so busy and I'm just working all the time. So I'm using that as an excuse that it's okay that I'm not spreading my wings even more. And I think that's something that I'm working on for sure in 2019, of really putting myself out there and making myself really uncomfortable. Either it be speaking engagements, either it be like hosting events, doing more meetups. So those are areas of improvement. But as with all things, we should also celebrate the small wins. And one thing that made me really uncomfortable was I really didn't want to host on Beauty Within. If you give me the opportunity of, Rowena, do you want to be in front of the camera or do you want to be behind the camera? My initial reaction is I'd rather be behind the camera. I'd rather work on business and strategy and like data and that kind of stuff. For my channel, if there were other people out here doing what I'm doing and just like really just wanting to help people for the sake of helping people, really wanting to create content for, all of us little potatoes who just felt so lost and alone and crazy for having the big dreams that we had, or just questioning our existence because people around us and our peers weren't operating on the same wavelength as us. It's making me a little emotional. If someone were doing that already, I wouldn't be doing this. I would prefer to just live in a little cave and just like be a potato for the whole day and just be with my parents and spend time with my family all the time. Going back to Beauty Within, again, like if I had the choice to host or not to host, I would prefer to not to host. But a lot of that is, I realize, it's not about, like, it is about me, but like it's not about me. If it's for a greater purpose, if it's for a greater goal, if it's for a greater mission that I believe in, like my own channel and Beauty Within, which is to help individuals like you and I navigate like the ever-changing and complex landscape of beauty, and also that beauty really stems from within, and how can we tap into that more so than like things we put on our face. So that was the first thing I did. The second thing I did was doing my first meetup in Taipei, and it was one of the most low-key nerve-wracking experiences of my life. If you guys can't tell already, I'm actually like a pretty shy and introverted person who like prefers to just like do my own thing in my own cave. But the fact that I got to meet 7 of you guys and like talk about so many things, have so many heart-to-hearts, and just share things that we've never really shared with other people before. That was such a, like, it made my heart so full, and it made me so happy. So definitely more of this to come. So the second thing I want to do more of is to plan more, and specifically I wanted to keep a journal or keep some sort of like a daily journal type thing where I am far more regimented with my schedule and with knowing the things that I need to do. I honestly believe that had I stuck to this goal that I set for myself in January, this year would have been a lot less stressful and a lot less painful, because after I started getting busy, I just defaulted to a combination of post-it notes, this like digital online to-do list, and Google Calendar. So these are just the three things that I use on a daily basis, which has worked for me. But I know that if I actually have a daily planner, it could actually help a lot, which is actually why I'm so excited. Eileen just sent me, let me go grab it. So these are the planners from Eileen. This is the Artist of Life workbook, and this is the daily planner from Lavender. So I'm actually low-key so excited about this, and I love how she has a section for self-care. So that's that. Again, I think for 2019, I'm actually gonna do my best to try to stay with this. And I like how the top, it's not you can fill out yourself like the 5-minute journal, so that if you miss a week or a month or half a year, you can still use this. Yes, lots of things that I could still be working on. Ooh, one thing that did help a lot when I did it consistently was the 5-minute journal. The 3 months that I did it every single day, I did feel the happiest and the most positive and the most grateful. I think overall as a person, I'm a pretty positive and optimistic person, but sometimes it's so easy when you're stressed and overwhelmed to just default to, you know, more negative thoughts and not be as positive as you usually are. So I would recommend that. And I'm going to link all of these things down below. So the third point was to deepen my faith in myself, in God, in the universe, in Buddhas, in anything that you guys believe in. And for me, I think I'll go into detail on this in my video that's going to come on like everything about my spiritual practice, what Falun Dafa is, how it's helped me, and how it's allowed me to grow into the person that I've always known I was capable of becoming. But in a nutshell, I feel like this year was the first year that I truly understood what it meant that if you believe that there's someone greater taking care of you, you will be taken care of. And I think it took me reaching, so like compared to before when I was like in a really dark and lonely place and it was like 10 levels under rock bottom, it was a very different feeling this time around this year. But there were multiple times throughout this year where I just felt like the burden of the world is on my shoulders, and I just felt like there's such a huge responsibility for me to do the things that I need to do. And there were moments where I just knew it wouldn't, like, it's not humanly and physically possible for me to be able to do half the things that I'm doing. Those are the moments where I legit, like, I've never begged for help. I'm not the type to really ask people for help, because I think growing up I just felt like if I could handle it, then I'll just handle it, because that's just, you know, it's what I do, it's what I grew up knowing. But this was the first year where I was just like, I can't do it. As much as I believe in myself and as much as I want to do it and as badly as I want to do it, like, I need some divine intervention. I need some like divine wisdom to show me the way, because I don't know what to do. And in those moments, there'll be days where I literally just wake up, roll over, get on my knees, and I'm just like a little turtle on my bed like this, but like on the floor of just like, I don't even know what I'm doing with my hands. Maybe it's like this, where I'm just like, please help me, I need help, like I don't know what to do. And I kid you not, the day of, I will get a sign or someone will come talk to me, or just like something will happen for me to be like, it was answered and I got my sign. But anyway, I feel like I'll get into all of this in the video that's coming. But I feel like this year I did break through immensely in my faith, and like just, I feel like when you're put in very trying situations and when your life gets a lot more complicated, or the more complicated it is, the more you need to rely on something like faith and like belief. either in yourself, either in something greater than yourself, whatever it is. And I feel like this year was super bang bang once again. And I need to take that with me into 2019. And I can also, of course, like with all things in life, there's definitely more room for me to improve as well. So the fifth thing is putting more effort into looking presentable. And I feel like overall, compared to what I was end of 2017 and even the beginning of 2018, you know, the fact that I'm wearing shirts that are colorful, that are not black or white t-shirts, and the fact that, you know, I'm trying to like, can you guys see? No? Putting in a little bit more effort into making my makeup face look decent. I'm like actually trying to learn makeup. I'm actually trying to learn beauty. I think being a host on Beauty Within has for sure inspired me to want to learn these things more, because I actually don't really know how to, you know, I just try, and if it works, then it works. So overall, I think this year has been great, and I will continue to move forward with this newfound inspiration to want to look more presentable and want to put a little bit more effort into how I look, without, of course, like going to the other extreme. So there is a video that I made of trying to dress better as self-care, and it's like how I used to dress back when I was younger versus how I dressed versus how I'm trying to dress now. And I kind of walk through like why I didn't care about how I dressed for a while and like why I'm starting to care again. So that is that. The next thing is to create more and consume less. Happiest when creating, knowing what makes you happy and doing more of it. So I wanted to create more manifestos. I wanted to create more letters to the boy I love, which are more like artsy, shorter, creative videos that I just haven't had time. It's such an excuse, but I haven't had time to just breathe. So of course I don't have time to dream about these things and like conceptualize and like script and write out and brainstorm these fanciful ideas. I talked about this in my previous video of how this is going to change. I'm grateful of the opportunity of how stressed I was, so that I was able to create a series of videos and vlogs of how I was so stressed and how I was able to overcome them, and how so many of you guys found them very useful and very helpful. But I've reached a point, as I said in last week's video, that like I no longer want to live as I have in terms of how hard I push myself. I'm glad I did that, and I knew I had to do that for me to move forward and for me to know where my limits are. But now that I know where it is, I'm like literally standing on the edge of the cliff, like looking down. And if I continue, I would have like so I'm going to make more time this year, starting with the videos that I'm going to be creating towards the end of the year. So more creating, less consuming, and I think I had a relatively healthy relationship with K-dramas this year. Actually, I lied. I stayed up till 6 a.m. sunrise a few times watching a few dramas, which I'm not proud of, but it happens. Stay/maintain a state of gratitude and compassion. One of the main things that I learned this year about gratitude is that whenever I found myself stressed, I just turned stress into something that I'm grateful for. So like if I'm stressed about work, I'm so grateful that I get to do something I love for work. And I'm so grateful that the work that I do is meaningful work that I feel could really help make the world a little better. And if I'm stressed about like my mom nagging me, then it's like I'm so grateful that I have a mom who cares about me. I'm so stressed that my coworkers aren't pulling their weight. It's like I'm so grateful that I have coworkers who are on my team, who I can rely on, who I can work with, and who I can improve with. The power of gratitude really is such an amazing thing, and Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. When you're overwhelmed with this feeling of gratitude, feeling of appreciation, and just pure like, I'm so lucky to have the things that I have, you can't feel anything else. And I think that's so true. And this is something that I've definitely gotten better at this year, but I could implement more during times of high stress and during times of just feeling like, I don't know, the world owes me something. The world doesn't owe us anything. but I forget every once in a while here and there. All right, so the last point is to be more consistent. To be consistent in my day-to-day routines, consistent in going to bed earlier, waking up earlier, consistent meditating and doing Qigong exercises daily, consistent in reading, consistent in learning, consistent in being. And I feel like I definitely was not consistent this year. I didn't sleep early. I didn't wake up early. I didn't stay consistent with meditating and with doing Qigong, and I didn't learn as much as I could, and I didn't read as much as I could. And I feel like it's okay. Like, it really is okay. Like, it's not okay in a sense that I didn't do those things that I know I should be doing, but it's okay in a sense where I knew that the time that I spent on doing other things other than what I wanted to be doing was time relatively well spent. I'm saying relatively because I was just working the whole time, and I really believe that what I did and the time that I spent doing these things are helping me push myself to where I need to be exactly right now. But again, I know that this is where I draw the line of I push myself enough. Now I need to go back to my roots of taking care of and my faith and just meditating more, and I just need a routine, and I just need to not be stressed so much, because no one can sustain for that long being as overwhelmed and as hard on yourself as I was, and as a lot of us are to ourselves. So I think because we still have one more month left for me to implement all the things that I feel like I should have done better at, I'm not going to give like a full recap of 2018, but I will say that this was probably one of my most challenging years to date, because I was faced with a lot of new challenges. I was faced with a lot of new growing pains, a lot of new struggles and stress that I wasn't used to and that I wasn't familiar with. So it was kind of like learning something for the first time and going through new things for the first time, which I really truly do believe that it's helped me so much grow and to become the person that I am today. And it's helped me so much in bringing me to where I am today with this channel, with Beauty Within, with everything that is going on in my life. Had I not gone through all of the ups and downs and highs and lows of this year and all the previous years of my life, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I wouldn't be able to talk about and share about and just like do the things that I'm doing now. So it's a great reminder for myself and for you that yeah, like sometimes things may look the future may look so bleak. It may look like there's nothing there and it's just like complete darkness. But it's in these moments, if you're able to find the light within yourself, find the light within something that's greater than yourself, and follow that light, no matter how weak the flickers are or no matter how hopeless it may all feel, that there is hope for all of us and there is a light within all of us. We just need to believe in ourselves enough to believe that it's there and that it can help us and it can help guide us. And with that, we've reached the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. It will probably be something along the lines of 26 things I learned at 26. I don't know if it's actually going to be 26 points or if it's going to be a little lower, but whatever the case, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your morning, your night, your evening is night. Just have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.